There's a mask you were handed so early that you mistook it for skin. No one told you it was a mask. They smiled when you wore it, and the smiling was the instruction. You learned the shape of the face that made the room go soft, and you wore it again and again until the wearing stopped feeling like effort and started feeling like you. This is the first country on the map, and almost no one knows they live here. It has no border you can see. The persona, the word means the mask the actor speaks through, is not a lie you tell. It is the negotiated face, the treaty signed between your depths and the demands of the crowd. Jung did not call the persona a sickness. He called it necessary. You cannot walk into the world raw. You would not survive the weather of other people's needs. So you build a surface, competent, pleasant, legible, and you send it out ahead of you like a scout. The mask is a bridge. On one side, the unspeakable interior, the parts of you too strange, too tender, too much for the marketplace. On the other side, the world that pays in approval. The persona stands on the bridge and translates between them, and for a while the translation is honest work. The danger was never the mask, everyone wears one. The danger is the slow forgetting. The day the disguise stops covering the territory and quietly begins to redraw the map. Notice how the bargain is struck, because it is struck in your favor every single time. You wore the agreeable face, and they promoted you. You swallowed the sharp thing you wanted to say, and the dinner stayed warm. You performed the steady one, the easy one, the one who never needs anything, and the world rewarded you with exactly what you asked for. Each reward was a small lesson, and the lesson was always the same. Wear it longer. This is how competence becomes captivity. You did not get trapped by failing. You got trapped by succeeding, by being so good at the performance that no one, least of all you, ever asked to see beneath it. The mask grew warm with use. Warmth is mistaken for life. And somewhere in those years of fluent, rewarded performing, you crossed a border you never felt yourself cross. Here's the turn. One day something happens that should move you. Grief, or insult, or a sudden joy. And you reach inward for your reaction, your real one, the one that belongs only to you. And you find it already waiting for you, prearranged, composed, correct. You reach for the face beneath the mask, and your fingers close on the inside of the mask. The fusion has begun. This is the moment the persona stops being something you wear and becomes something you are worn by. You can still perform every feeling perfectly. You simply can no longer tell which of them started in you. People think the fused mask is the whole catastrophe. It is only half. Because everything the mask was built to hide did not evaporate when you stopped looking at it. The anger you were too gracious to show, the need you were too strong to admit, the envy, the appetite, the grief. Jung called this the shadow, and the shadow does not leave when it is denied a face. It goes underground. And underground, unwatched, it does not weaken. It rules. It rules through the symptom you cannot explain. The flash of contempt for someone who did nothing, the exhaustion that has no source, the dream that arrives with a stranger's violence in it. The more flawless the mask, the more total the rule below it. A perfect surface is not the absence of a shadow. It is the measure of how large the shadow has been allowed to grow. So when the panic comes, understand what it is. It usually comes quietly, in an ordinary moment. A question as simple as, "What do you want?" or "How do you feel?" And you open your mouth to answer and discover there is no one clearly home to ask. You cannot find the line between what you feel and what you have learned to perform feeling. The ground that was solid for 30 years goes to water. This terror has a name in the older language, and the name is not breakdown. It is the map correcting itself. For years, the map showed solid country where there was only painted canvas. And now, finally, the canvas is being marked as canvas. That sick vertigo is not the self-collapsing. It is the false coastline being erased so the true one can be surveyed. You only feel lost because, for the first time, you are standing somewhere real. And now the part the field guide must be careful with, because the wrong instruction here is dangerous. You do not burn the mask. Anyone who tells you to tear off the persona and live wholly naked and authentic has never had to survive other people. To go maskless into every room is not freedom. It is a different kind of death. The explorer who strips off his coat to prove he is unafraid of the cold. The mask is a tool. You are allowed to keep it. You will need it tomorrow in the meeting, at the funeral, in front of the stranger who has not earned your depths. The work is smaller and far harder than burning. It is learning to take the mask off in one room, with one person, for 1 hour, and to discover that being seen, actually seen, beneath the performance, does not kill you the way the child who first put the mask on was certain it would. That is the whole repair, and it sounds like almost nothing. One room, one witness, one unrehearsed reaction allowed to leave your body in its own crooked shape. But each time you do it, you redraw a little of the true map. You remark one stretch of coast. You remind yourself that there is a face under there, that it has its own weather, and that it can be in the world without being consumed by it. The persona was supposed to be the bridge. The work is simply to stand on the bridge again, to be the one who decides when to cross and when to wear the face, instead of being the bridge, walked across by everyone, going nowhere yourselves. So picture it ending here. The mask is resting on the table. You have set it down, not thrown it into the fire, only set it down, the way you'd set down a thing you intend to pick up again. It is still warm from your face. It will always be a little warm. That is what wearing something for a lifetime does. And there is a face now where the mask was. Unfamiliar, older and younger at once. A little raw in the air it has not felt in years. The mirror is across the room. You have not yet decided whether to look. That undecided moment, the face exposed, the mask cooling beside it, the mirror waiting and patient, that is exactly where you live now. And it is the most honest place you have stood in a very long time. What would you find if you crossed the room and looked, and whose face would be doing the looking?